Hi, I'm Mike Miller. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks so much for tuning in. My guest today is an amazing multi-instrumentalist, very prolific guy, and I'm honored to have Daniel Folmer here.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. So you've been quite busy the last, since 2006, you put out quite a few albums.
Yeah, I honestly don't know how many. I would say 8.
8 albums?
Yeah.
That's a lot of work. Not
counting all the other ones that we don't feel like releasing because...
Yeah. Got other cuts that you're just holding on to at this time.
B-sides.
Yeah. And your most recent album that you worked on an album that hasn't been released yet in San Francisco?
Yeah, I recorded out there with a guy named John Vanderslice at a studio called Tiny Telephone. We did everything on 2-inch tape, reel-to-reel, all analog, so the sound is very warm, and it's a much different recording experience when you're recording on analog versus digital because punching, you don't really do it.
Yeah.
There's no punch in.
No punch in.
One take and that's it. And if it sounds bad, then you just do it again.
Did some of your musician friends from the area go out there with you?
Yeah, Justin Collins, my drummer, who recorded most or engineered most everything, pretty much every recording I've done. My bass player Chris Garver, and then my steel player Burton Lee came from Nashville to play. So we spent about 5 days. When people think about recording, they think, oh, this is this big fun time, but it's a lot of work. It's very tiring. When you get home, you don't want to go out, you don't want to do anything, you just want to go to sleep.
Yeah, very tedious, exacting type
Hearing
work.
your voice all day.
Yeah. How did you find out about that producer?
I've actually been a fan of John's since like 2003. I started listening to his music. He was in a band before called MK Ultra, but I started listening to his music about 2003, and then he played a show over gloves. I gave him a CD, and he wrote me this really long, really nice letter. Hey, I like your music. Keep doing what you're doing. At that time, my music was like, 18-year-olds. That's what we do. But he said, hey, man, I really like what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. And every time he'd come to town, I'd go to a show. We'd hang out. I'd give him another CD. And so we got closer. And he actually, when I was on tour with the Paper Chase in Europe, we played a couple shows with him as well, so that was cool going from being 18 to being, 25 playing in Austria with, you never would think going from that one way to another. But I emailed him and I said, hey man, because I was thinking about other producers, and the other producer I was going to use is never available because he's ultra famous. So I emailed John and I said, hey, how much would it be? So I did the math and realized I was going to have to basically purchase a small car. So I started saving about 8 months ago, and saved up the money and went out there and paid him outright. But it was a good experience. The album sounds fantastic.
Most of your other albums you recorded around here?
Yeah, my first stuff I recorded with a guy named John Congleton, who was in the Paper Chase, and I did about 2 or 3 albums worth with him. At the same time I was recording with Justin Collins here in Denton, first at his house, then at another house, and then at the Echo Lab. But I would rather, keep my money here with my friends than go down to Dallas and pay $500 a day for the sound lab or something inferior. So.
The Paper Chase, that band caused quite a stir.
Yeah, they were first a Denton band when they were younger and crazier, and then they kind of moved around.
Schizo rock, I saw it.
Schizo rock, yeah, that's how I describe it. John is a kind of like Jesus Lizard on stage. He's very theatrical, very. The first time I saw him, I was genuinely afraid. I was like, this guy is actually like a psycho. Of course, I was 18, and yeah, he is kind of crazy, but his style of playing and singing is very jarring. It's like watching a car wreck. You just kind of sit there and go, whoa,
He's worked with some big name people.
Yeah, I think the Swans is the most recent thing I heard. He did all the St. Vincent albums and a couple Smog albums. But he also does like pop, like not like Taylor Swift, but what would be the kind of indie contemporary to her.
Yeah.
He gets around. It's great for him. I'm very happy for him, but it also sucks that I can't call him and say, hey, let's make a record.
Yeah, he's a pretty smart guy, I guess.
He's very smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, riding in a van for 12 hours at a time with him, he doesn't say much, but when he does, he's very, very smart.
Now, on the professional side, you are a counselor? Or?
I am. I'm a counselor. I work for an outpatient mental health facility where the team I work with specifically works with the most intensive population, so people that are frequently in and out of the hospital,
Really?
frequent suicide attempts.
Yeah.
Some people who should really be in the hospital full time but aren't because our state mental health funding is garbage. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like being a cop without a gun. You're constantly patrolling the people. You're driving down the street and, oh my gosh, my person is sitting there in the corner doing kung fu with his shirt off and screaming at people. You know, it's intense, but it's fun.
You go out and intervene sometimes?
Yeah, part of the job is crisis intervention, where like I'm on call right now. I could be called at any moment to go to a hospital or to someone's home if there's a psychiatric crisis. Sometimes you go to the ER. I've done screenings when I was living in Canyon Lake, which is in Comal County. I would do screenings in trailers at the middle of the night. It's kind of scary, but it's fun.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really
That's
do
a good
anything
way to
with-
serve the community. It's very, very noble, I think.
It's fun, man. It's
You
every
have
day
a
is
master's
different.
in that field?
I do have a
Yeah.
master's. Yeah, I'm a master's level counselor. I love it. I've been offered other positions at the place where I work for more, and I don't really feel like taking them because the people I serve are the highest need to me.
That's bound to enter into your songwriting somehow.
It does. One of the songs off the Danny Diamonds album, "When I Don't Like a Movie," I was working in New Braunfels, living in Canyon Lake, and there was a guy who came to me who was chronically suicidal and like just haunted by psychosis all the time. So we working with him, and one day he showed up and he just basically told me, "Hey, when I don't like a movie, I get up and walk out in the middle. There's that time." So he went home. I called the sheriff's department. They were like, "Well, he's not there. We can't do anything." And so they went and did a welfare check, and he had killed himself. So I went home and wrote that lyric down because I thought that was a very powerful way of saying I'm just tired of being alive. Which also, at the time I wrote that song, I was struggling with depression, you know.
You're human too.
Yeah, especially with a profession like I'm in, it can wear on you.
Wear on you.
But I'm old and hardened enough now where it's just like, that's all you got, man? No knives.
You've worked with a lot of great musicians around here. Danny and the Designated Drivers is your most recent.
Well, the Danny Diamonds is the
Danny
latest incantation. Yeah, the Danny Rush of the DDs was from like 2008 to, I guess, 2014,
Yeah.
2013. Tony Ferraro, who's in Satan's of Soft Rock, Justin Collins, the guy who did most of the production, Taylor Sims, my piano player, Burton Lee, my pedal steel player, who's now in Nashville. But yeah, I've also worked with other guys on the side. I've been really pleased. It's such a thriving musician community that you go to other places and per capita, you can't really find, you know, partially the music school, partially just the culture that's been here since, I mean, I moved here, I don't know how long ago, but a long time ago, and that's something you really can't find that I've never seen. I've been in a lot of places. I mean, there's a lot of great musicians in Dallas, but there's also 6 million people.
Yeah.
You know, which is part of the reason that I enjoyed Denton, because we have a smaller population, and I hate to see that get watered down with normies.
Yeah. I think Denton will always be like it is in certain ways. It's growing so much, though.
Well,
it's kind of scary.
If you look at the way Austin was, 30 years ago, everybody
Yeah.
would keep Austin weird. You know, the movie Slacker, everybody talking about, well, Austin's not like it used to be, and da-da-da. That's perpetual. That's going to happen. It's just a matter of how our municipal government handles that. If we're going to keep building Razor Ranches and 288s until we're just like Round Rock, or if we're going to focus our tax dollars and bond dollars on promoting a community of creativity.
Who is it you brought with you today to play?
Taylor Sims, my piano man.
Yeah. How long have y'all worked together?
Whew, man. I have no idea. 10
Quite a while.
years?
10
10 to
years?
15 years?
Yeah.
10 years. Probably. Yeah, I had another piano player before him, but I shot him. Joke.
I was watching some of your videos the other night, the Shut Your Mouth.
SYFMMD, yeah, that's a very charged song about a not so healthy relationship. But yeah, that song really gets going.
Yeah, it has a lot of views, yeah.
Yeah, it has a lot of accusatory language that is probably not appropriate for this.
How is that word pronounced? Volitionist?
Violationist.
Violationist.
Yeah, Michael Briggs, who's he also runs a recording studio at his house now, Civil Recording. He
It's called
recorded
what?
those. Civil Recording?
Civil Recording?
Yeah, he actually did some of my first, but even before Congleton, he did some of my first recordings at his house. Like, I started recording stuff on my own. I was depressed. My dad's like, what do you need? I said, let's go buy something I can record some music on. So I started recording by myself. Then I went to a Paper Chase show, saw John play, John Congleton, gave him a CD. He emailed me and said, yeah, let's work together. We worked together at his house in Garland. Then Briggs, Michael, was a huge Paper Chase fan, like obsessive Paper Chase fan. He said every show he'd drive to Arkansas to see him. And
Now, is that Gutterworth Records?
Gutterworth
also?
Records, yeah.
Okay.
They put out my first couple albums as well. But he contacted me and said, hey, let's do some recording together. And it was all at his apartment. Now he's got a really nice setup. Back then it was, I mean, a recording setup. But
You guys sometimes use GarageBand for your initial demos, or
I
Pro
always
Tools,
use,
or-
I had some like Windows 95, just Japanese audio recording software at that time. Usually for demos now, I use just a telephone, or like the voice memo app,
Oh, really?
or Logic on my computer if I'm feeling fancy. But really, when you think about like 4-track recordings, you don't really need anything other than a mic and a tape.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes when you delve further into the digital aspect of recording, it can become infinitely more complicated. Oh, I've got to change the mixer. Oh, I've got to do this. I got something shorted out. Why am I not hearing it? Versus just hit record.
Yeah,
It's done.
yeah. Just record it as it is.
Yes. Well, that's the truest way to do it. I mean, you can't. No frills.
What do you have planned for the next few years, basically?
No idea.
Yeah.
Go to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm very
When you-
excited.
Go ahead.
I'm very excited about the Vanderslice recordings. I think those are going to be
Yeah.
very productive.
And when you do get a new album out, then it takes a lot of work to promote it, and
It does, and that's something I've never really succeeded at. You know, I have a lot of
it's hard for artists, I think, to just all of a sudden be a marketing expert, you know. And
people say. I mean, one of my close friends who's you know, famous, whatever that means nowadays, said, "Well, why don't you just pay a PR person?" I said, "Well, how much?" He said, "Well, I don't know, $5 to $10 grand." And I looked at him like, no, I'm not going to pay someone
Yeah.
to pay people or like solicit people to talk about me. That's the job of the label or the management. Like that's kind of prostituting yourself in an unhealthy way, I think.
are there record companies in Denton right now? Some local
iHeart Math
grassroots?
is the one that puts my stuff out. There was Gutterworth before that. I know there's Do For It Records, which is like a metal label. There was TXMF, which I really liked, which was like Spitfire, Tumbleweeds, and JC and all those guys. There's not really. I mean, there's small people. There's small like Charlie. I Love Math. They're releasing, you know, their friends' stuff, but it's really hard to be a coordinator of a local label and work a full-time job in your
Yeah,
real life and
yeah.
promote the album, because the only media we really have around here, other than this excellent facility and the Denton Record Chronicle, is the Dallas Observer, who has been okay in covering Denton stuff. They've written a lot of good stuff about me. I appreciate that, but the Fort Worth Star-Telegram doesn't really cover Denton stuff.
Yeah.
Dallas Morning News, do they even still have a music section? Like, music journalism has kind of gone by the wayside as, again, technological advances. Oh, I'm just going to read about what my friends say on social media versus like reading a Lester Bangs article, you know.
Yeah. Now, you've been on the Central Tracks.
I have. Central Track is, and like I said, technical stuff like Central Track, Gorilla versus Bear, more internet-based media outlets.
Is that Pete Friedman?
Pete, who used to run the Dallas Observer, yeah, he very positive. I mean, they'll write. The thing that bothers me about some local publications, I don't want to name any names, is that they'll either totally glorify someone or totally smear them, which is
Yeah.
the nature of that style of media. But Central Track, mostly positive stuff. If they think something is wrong, or they'll call it out, versus like a local magazine that will just smear someone's name completely.
Yeah.
And with no justification behind it,
That can
and
be
call it
very-
a music review.
That can be very hurtful.
It's mostly funny.
Yeah.
Like
You can't take it too seriously.
No,
if you're
it's
the
performance
artist.
art.
Yeah.
Everything I do in music and sometimes in life is just performance art. And it's interesting to see what other people say about what you create.
Yeah.
Not that it dictates at all what I do. but-
Everybody has a different perspective. You see
Yeah.
it one way and they see it a totally different
Yeah.
way from their background experiences.
I mean, I used to do theater, musical
Oh, really?
theater, like in high school and middle school. I was Sound of Music and Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor
Really?
Dreamcoat. I consider pretty much that the same as what I do now, which
Yeah.
is perform.
Yeah. I do appreciate you coming down today. Is there
Yeah.
anything else you want to add?
No, I'm very happy to be here. I'm excited to play some songs for you.
I'll get out of the way. And y'all stay tuned to check out Daniel Folmer and Taylor playing some music for us. Thanks.
Hello, I am Daniel Folmer. This is Taylor Sims. We are Danny Diamonds. Enjoy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, chances are you forget that we even met. Chances are you're running stray again. Well, chances are you run away. Dogs like you can sit and stay. Chances are you're running stray again. Oh, my darling pearl, you are the sweetest little girl. Stuck down in an oyster in the middle of the surf. Anne Marie, my everything, won't you just come home to me? Well, chances are you run away. Dogs like you just can't obey. Chances are you're running stray again. Chances are you're running stray again. What now? Show me around. The song's called Show Me Around. 2, 3, 4. Left her, he left you. Believe me, I need you. Your beauty is unparalleled. Answer the question. You need me, I need you. I'll be there like nobody else. Never will cuss you or beat or mistrust you. You're steady and solid as stone. Know that you're lonely, you're staying at home. Do you need me to show you around? Need a distraction, I need a relaxer, I need your sharp teeth in my arm. Never distrust you, but leave me, I love you, I'll always be yours alone. Naked and trusted. I'm rotted and rusted. I need you to show me around. Sparkled, star-spangled, I'm battered and mangled. I need you to show me around. Need you to show me around. Need you to show me around. Without you. This is Without You. That's a high one. Gave me the knife and the key to your heart. Baby, cut me open, I could use some blood. I can't spend another day without you. Your belly bulges and your mouth is full. Marijuana in the motel room. I can't set my habits straight around you. If it's time you want, then take it. Take it, take it, take it. I can't see nothing. Can't see nothing without you. You came over and came on my jeans. Listened to a record and we fell asleep. I can't set my spirit straight around you. If it's space you need to take, I think it's time that you take it. I can't see nothing, can't see nothing without you. Without you. Without you. Without you. Buffalo? This is Buffalo Man. Won't you be my evening gown? Everyone is settling now. Diseases, war and drought. Everyone is settling now. Don't leave me, leave me alone. Everyone is settling down. Believe me if you can. Everyone's a buffalo man. Fur and meat and skin and bone, wandering through the plains alone. Don't leave me, I'll be found in the end zone. Thank you, our Danny Diamonds.
And they tell me, follow your dreams. And they say, do what you want, and money will come.